So the conclusion of the Taco Bell incident, it's nah. The guy seemed pretty cool. Seemed like he had a cool, like upbeat Pittsburgh type attitude. I believe he would be the regional manager for like the Pittsburgh area, and but he said like something was interesting. Like he said we didn't call it, and I'm like okay with that. Yeah, yeah, we didn't call it. He said maybe you should call the police and talk with them, and see who did call, right? So like on first glance, I'm like, oh, you know what, that's a good idea, right? And I did actually call the police, and then when I'm in the middle of talking to the police, I'm like, you know what? Like the guy said to call police and discuss who called it in, right? You can't. I said like you can't do that. Why would he ask me to do that? Here, I think he just wanted me to talk to the police, right? Because like when you talk to police, it makes it more things that go on to the onto the rap sheet. I told the police the truth, like help out the local guys around the area. Sometimes they're into stuff, and like it looks like I'm shady because I'm hanging out with shady people, but I'm actually getting them off of stuff. I'm getting on the right track of Jesus. I don't want to get into specifics, you know what I'm saying? And but like, long story short, they love me because I tell them like love's the way, and there's an eternal life afterwards, and and so like it doesn't matter what you don't have to like achieve anything in this life. You just have to help people along the way, and they're getting off of like this and that, and like it's like they're avoiding trouble, right? Because they're listening to me, right? And like I told him I'm Carnegie Mellon grad. I'm a scientist, man. Like I don't cause trouble, and people like when I dance around the place and everything, like you gotta ask anybody, like, hey Jim, they like to see me like kick over like pillars and stuff, and dance and ride the grocery cart and give them small talk and talk about the day. Like I'm like a local like a celebrity in a way because I'm just nice to people. There's so many people out there that just aren't nice nowadays. They aren't considerate. I open doors for people. I'll sit there, open door for people all day long. I hold the door up. Hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, thank, whatever. I like one of my jokes is like the automatic doors. When I'm gonna get in the way someone's way, and I just notice like, here, I open the door for you, and I just stand out of the way, right? Like I'm all about like tell people about small talk, and I just try and have other people be upbeat. There's so many things going down in life. I like people to be happy and stuff. So if you look at like Taco Bell was he satisfied me, right? The corporate guy from Taco Bell satisfied me enough to realize that maybe he didn't call it in, but maybe they did, because like if he said call the police, first of all, that helps in a court of a law to get more information about me, right? And the second one is he said confirm with the police that it was us that wasn't sent it. And you can't do that. You can't call the police and do that. And he knows both of those things. So and then they didn't really compensate me at all. It's like, and like I say, I don't understand. Like, if they think that nothing went bad on that. But, like, to me, a lot of stuff went bad on that. Like, I was very concerned for 4 days. I'm still trying to just distress over it, like, now. It was a major incident. Like, they tried to haul me away because I was dancing and being nice to people. Like, the dance police, man. So, long story short, I changed my review. I love the people at Taco Bell. I love the employees at Taco Bell. The food's good. I recommend eating there. Their food's good. Their prices are good. When I used to have my stream on Twitch before I got banned for talking about human rights abuses in China, Iran, and the drug lords, um, yeah, I got banned on Amazon. It's like no matter I'm a nice everywhere I'm a nice guy I get like slack. I guess they don't like nice guys, but like yeah, I got banned on Amazon because I was talking about Hong Kong. Like China probably shouldn't be harvesting those organs of like nice people. They're peaceful protesters, harvest organs. So I got banned off Amazon for saying that. I said terrorists are evil. They said, oh, that's hateful, and I said drug lords are evil. That it's hateful. It's like reporting a crime to Amazon. It's like Amazon saying it's hateful to talk about human rights abuses is like reporting a crime and the police arresting you for reporting a crime, right? There's no sense in like that's about the logic behind it. Like they're saying I'm a hater because I'm exposing human rights abuses. I'm trying to make the world a better place. That's all I do, right? So like Amazon, Twitch banned me off of their forum. We're doing a segue. I got proof of it. All of this, like I said, terrorists are evil. Like that's your hater, Jim. I said drug lords are evil. You're a hater, Jim. And then I said, Hong Kong shouldn't be like executing peaceful protesters. Jim, you're a hater. Turns out, what I've actually found out the truth is like Amazon likes to do business in places that have human rights abuses. Like they don't want to lose their business in China, so they'll appeal to all that China human rights abuses. They want to do business in Iran. You see that Iran has a revolution right now. The women are getting executed because they don't want to wear like a hijab or like a freaking like a whatever burqa. Like the Iranian women are like are rebelling because they're being treated like property. Like love is like one of those things is like it's reciprocal. If someone likes a relationship, They get into it. They don't like the relationship, they get out of it. And then marriage is you're bonded for life, right? But in Iran, they just grab that's mine, and that girl's mine, and she's mine for life. And like age doesn't matter, which is really I won't get into it, but like that's really awful. So like women don't want to be treated like property in Iran, and I was calling that abuse is out like like the year before, and I got banned off of Twitch for that. Amazon is not about human rights. Amazon is about money. They're about money. So anyway, my crew that I used to be run Twitch, they used to say, "Oh, Jim," and the reason I'm bringing up Amazon and Twitch because I used to eat Taco Bell so much on stream. They used to go, "Jim, you're like the Taco Bell sponsor. Everywhere you go, you promote Taco Bell. Like yeah, it's awesome. Like, you just got get a bunch of burritos. I like be pounding burritos. Back then, it was like $1 for a burrito, man. You like $5. I mean, like $5, you eat like a meal and have like a meal left over for the next day and a little bit for the next like somewhere. Like, I loved it, man. They're like, "Dude, all you do is talk about Taco Bell on stream." I'm like, I mean, like you got it, man. Like there's a difference between promoting something you like and then promoting stuff you just love, right? And I was promoting Taco Bell because I loved it, right? I was promoting Taco Bell because I loved it, but like Amazon, hey, get out of here. We don't want to see you kind of like uh talk about human rights abuses. We're too busy making money in those places, So I got banned off of Amazon. Dude, my stream was popping. I went from like 50 viewers one day to 86 to 100. I had like a kicking bag. In between matches or like in between like coming back to lane, I'd run up, just kick the bag, and I come back in the stream. They're like, "Man, your energy level's so high, and your jokes are better than television and the movies, dude. You belt off jokes nonstop without even like scripting. That's better than television and movies." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's the spirit, man. It's the spirit." So, but I got banned. That's how it goes. This world's a crazy place right now. Let's admit that. I'm not getting into specifics because everybody looks at it different ways. But the world is a really messed up place. America was messed up, 40 years ago in the 80s or whatever. But it's way messed up now. Way more messed up now. They're calling good guys bad guys and bad guys good guys, right? Like I said, I'm calling for human rights abuse. Like none of that. But then they'll try to put on those young women who aren't wearing any clothes. It's like, dude, you're trying to make like young girls become like prostitutes or some shit, man. They used to say that like the streamers were jealous of those guys, right? They're taking away my views, and I'm like, you know what? I was still on the sidelines. I'm like, guys, people going for that are not going for you, right? They're probably going to like, if you're more entertaining, they can watch you. I always just said that like there wasn't competition, but now that Amazon is standing for like human rights. If you're standing for money over love, man, that's never good, right? And then that's not love, You selling yourself on the stream is not for love. So yeah, Amazon Twitch, that's messed up. That's messed up. But yeah, but anyway, I would do nothing but shout out Taco Bell. I'm waiting for maybe Rumble to like get some get a better streaming software. I tried them. The streaming software is not good, but like, yeah, my friends and family, I mean, they're always like, "Hey, you're Taco Bell. You're the Taco Bell sponsor." What else did I sponsor back then, other than Taco Bell? I don't know, maybe Burger King or something. Like, everywhere I go, like, it's like I don't know. I just love. Like I said, like so. Anyway, long story short, we're gonna roll back in. We did our tangential around the orbit and stuff, and now we're bringing it back into like the landing zone. Okay, so the conclusion of this whole story is the corporate man seemed nice. I know the employees are nice at Taco Bell. They're nothing but nice. They have never given me any problem at all at Taco Bell ever. They're super nice. They joke. They tell stories. Great people. The food at Taco Bell, I like it. I'm sorry, a lot of people like make fun of Taco Bell food. I love it, man. Like a soft taco for $1.70 or whatever. It's not bad. I got into Taco Bell back in what the '90s. There was the tacos were like 25 cents for a bean taco, or if you wanted to splurge a dime, maybe 35 cents for like a meat taco. And money hasn't really changed much value since then. Like you get the ability to earn money, like in the '80s, or like in the '90s, and buy a 25-cent taco is about this much better, But like the prices are like instead of 25 cents, it's $1.80. But everybody's like that. Everything went up in scale. But like when Taco Bell first came in, they were making profit at like 25-cent tacos. That was great. So we'd always eat Taco Bell then. I still like it now. Like I mean, they got me hooked. The food's good and it tastes good. I mean, it has to taste good. It has to have some protein content in it for me, and boom, you got me. So I'll eat the soft tacos, $1.79. I like the Dorito Loco if I'm splurging, and the beefy bean. Like I'm saying how it is. Taco Bell, I'll eat there, man. And, like, I still remember Running Man. Like my Starfighter General game was like Running Man, Judge Dredd, what is it, Demolition Man, Blade Runner, Cowboy Bebop. It's that futuristic like dystopia where things are there's so much stuff going on that like it's just weird stuff going on, right? But Taco Bell took over in Running Man, so that's all right, man. He's like, I don't know. Like long story short, I like the guys there. I like the employees there. I like the food, and the corporate guy seemed like he was a cool dude. He seemed like he was a cool dude. But I do have misgivings. That he told me to call the police and ask who called 911. That's sketch. Cause it's like it makes me think that like maybe someone may have called 911 from there, but I don't know who it would be. But I'd never met the guy before, so like, and I know corporate people are not the most trustable people. All corporations are allowed to lie, so I mean, like it would have been better if they would have dropped me like some sort of like special or something, for the incident. Because and I understand why they wouldn't drop me a special or anything because they didn't think if they don't think they're responsible for anything, they're like, well, we don't really want to compensate this guy. But it's sketch, right? Someone called the dance police, and like it might have been someone at Taco Bell. They might have been lying to me. Guy seemed nice, but like what? The only reason I'm even bringing this video up is because it's the conclusion, right? And he was nice, and he just kind of like tried to say, you're allowed to dance, just don't get hurt and stuff, you know. I mean, like then I gave him the spiel, like if you dance a lot, jump around a lot, then like when you do fall, it's gonna be like less impactful, if you're not used to dancing and you fall, you're gonna break yourself. So it's the old age old dichotomy, uh, like philosophy of living that goes back to the BC. Should we even leave the house? Because if you leave the house, you can get like eaten by a lion or something. That's what they used to say. Um, but the thing is, like they used to say, do you want to exercise? You might wear yourself out. You know how it goes. So like, but like, I think it's good to dance, and it helps you when you fall. You don't get hurt that much dancing. You can control yourself. I don't think I've ever got hurt dancing, and I've been doing it for like decades, right? But like it has saved me from some falls, right? So I understand his concern not to fall. It was really just masking a liability issue right there. But he's also saying, it's nice that you're welcome to dance at Taco Bell. They run this ads. The very first number one Twitter ad on Taco Bell is a guy doing a backflip. They have people doing punk. They hire people with tats and piercings, and that's great. That's why I like Taco Bell because they're like a little bit punk. They're punk friendly, and I think more companies should be punk friendly. Hire people with tats and piercings. Don't care what they look like, man. What you look like is just you. And there's I'm going to go into a spiel right now before we do conclusion. There's conformists and there's nonconformists, right? And I'm going to tell you why it's important to be a nonconformist. A conformist at their heart is someone who don't like themselves, so they want to be like someone else. It's called a wannabe, okay? Or a poser. You don't want to be a wannabe poser. Be yourself, right? If you're trimming your hair and wearing a suit just because everybody else does it, and you want to fit in, then you just don't like who you are. And like me, obviously, if you're making money doing it, yeah, go ahead. But if you're just trying to fit in, then like, who are you? You have to define yourself. You have to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And people who don't follow that way, the nonconformists, hey, they do what they want. And some people don't like nonconformists just because they make the conformists feel uncomfortable. One of the things about conformists is since they don't like who they are and they want to be what a normal person is supposed to be, they try and define normal, right? How many times people say, "Oh, I'm an adult. I don't want to watch. I don't want to sit in my pajamas, lay on the couch and eat fruity pebbles, right? And watch cartoons. Adults don't watch cartoons. Adults don't play video games. Adults don't skip and jump and have fun. Some people say that. I'm too mature to watch cartoons. They'll really still say it and be honest about you. But what they're doing is they're putting themselves in a mind prison of what they should be. They're role playing an adult. Adults are allowed to do whatever you want as long as it's moral and helping people out. But someone who like trying to be someone. I'm trying to be an adult, so I can't watch cartoons. I'm trying to be fit in, so I'm going to wear a suit. And what happens is once you got to the point where you don't like yourself, so you're trying to be someone else, then you have to have this thing called like affirmation confirmation. That means the people around you do the same as you, so you think it's right. The more people doing it, it's like, well, everybody's doing it, so it must be right. Mark Twain has a quote on it. It says, if you find yourself in the majority, it's time to stop and think and reflect. Because the majority, once you're with the majority, oh, they're doing it right. Then they're doing it right. Then everything they do is right because everybody else is doing it. So if everybody's saying it, then it must be right. Everybody's saying that guy's a bad guy, it must be a bad guy. Everybody's saying that guy's a good guy, it must be a good guy because everybody's saying it. You got to do it, right? So conformists at their core are crossing the line in authoritarianism, right? And what happens is since you're like, this is important because this might be like why someone think it's weird someone dancing in public. Right? There's nothing. People do parkour all the time, right? So here's the thing once you're conformist, okay, you don't like yourself and you try to be like someone else, right? And you're fitting in with all these people and you're getting that like you're getting that whole like those vibes of yeah, everybody's doing what I'm doing. I must be doing right because they're what they're doing. Everybody's doing. And then you see this guy over here. He has some like chain. He has a chain like belt and he has a nose piercing and he's just like has a mohawk and he's like, oh, that guy failed at life. He's not like us. That conform, and they don't realize that like that guy's himself. Like maybe there's a bunch of people failing at life trying to be each other. They don't like themselves. This guy over here, he loves himself. He go, hey, I go to concerts, I make some music. I'm gonna go home. He's a free mind. These people are like that guy's different than us, and they have to like justify themselves. How do we stop that guy from like affecting our vibes, our conformity vibes? Like the affirmation confirmation is a real thing. The more people doing what you're doing, or you're doing what they're doing, and everybody's doing the same thing, those people like they like that. It's like, oh, it makes me feel comfortable. That person makes me feel uncomfortable because he's different. It's a real thing. Okay, and what happens is the conformists, they kind of unite, and then once you unite and tell people what they can and can't do, you cross the line to authoritarianism, and that's where we're at right now. All right. So let's reel it in. That's why I like Taco Bell. Taco Bell is not authoritarianism. They let people the tats. They like the nose. They don't care. Like you can wear a belt. You may have a chain or whatever. The Taco Bell employees are great. Some of them like are reformed. Maybe there was a couple of Taco Bell people who had a bad life. And I won't get into specifics, but Taco Bell's not gonna be like, hey, you had a bad life, you reformed. We don't want anything to do with you. You have a bad record, right? Taco Bell will be like, hey, we'll give you a chance. You can work here, man. Like we're not hold you down. If you want to screw up on the job, you want to start doing like some bad stuff on the job, then you're gone, right? That's how every job is. But if you had a bad life and you come to Taco Bell and you're working your butt off. You're making your tacos. You're talking to customers. You're being all respectful to everybody. No one's gonna give you a problem at Taco Bell working there. They like that. People come to talk about like, yeah, that guy reformed, like whatever he came from, dude. He might have been on a street gang. He might have been in prison. That guy might have been like on the streets. But right now, he's upstanding, getting his life together, working at Taco Bell. People come to Taco Bell because they love that stuff, right? Like if more places were like Taco Bell, letting the punk work, letting the guy with tats and the piercings, maybe like the long hair, maybe even like mohawks, like whatever, work at their place. You see a couple places like that, and you're like, yeah, this place is cool. They let the individuals work here, the nonconformists, and that's why I like to eat at Taco Bell. So like where I'm going at is like more places have to encourage Taco Bell's attitude. I'm just being honest. More places have to be like Taco Bell in order for society to thrive. Otherwise, we're going to keep going down the conformity aisle, keep going towards that authoritarianism. You see it. Like, I won't get into politics. No one wants to talk about politics, but we need a little bit of anti-authoritarianism right now. We just need it. We need the Taco Bell punk type of attitude going on. But so like for the guys that can dance, big plus, man. Just A++ corporate guy from Pittsburgh, telling me I could dance in this place, be nice to companies. Just say, like I said, I love Taco Bell. I turned my 1-star review into a 5-star review. The people are awesome. Like, and all Taco Bells are awesome. I had down in White Oak, I had a girl like saw me dancing, and she's like, "Yo, you want a dance battle?" I'm like, "Oh, snake, dude! Like, I didn't know dancing was a art of combat." Like, so she just started going off. I'm like, "Yeah, you got it." Like, I was afraid for my life because she was about to dance battle me. It was cool. We dance battle, right? I'm joking. Like, what I really mean is like. I was pretty impressed that a girl would dance with me. And then she was like, she was young, she got all shy after she said, like, what did I just do? Like, is that okay? So, like, I love it, man. Like, everywhere you go, you gotta be nice to everybody, right? And like I said, the Taco Bell and North Huntington's nice. Taco Bell down White Oak's nice. Uh, Good food, good people. And the corporate guy's nice, but like I'm just making mention of it. I'm gonna keep my videos up where my 3 videos on YouTube, where I talk about it got really sketch about almost getting arrested for dancing the Dance Police game because, like I said, I was just the apology is acceptable. I'm gonna go eat a Taco Bell. I got the 5-star review, but like it's not fully. It doesn't fully add up. Right? Why would the guy ask me to call the police and see who really called 911, right? You can't do that. That's against the law. It's like going to the hospital and saying, hey, I want to visit this guy up in this stage. And you can't. You're not family because they're afraid the gangs will do it. You call 911. Hey, who called that? So I'm going to go, it's like, gangs, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, it's long story short, you can't call the police and ask who called 911. Like, what I should have did a talk when I talked to the police, like, hey, if someone calls the police because their coffee's cold at Starbucks, they go to jail for a little bit because or detained because that's abusing 911. They pay a fine, right? So like somebody calls the Taco Bell for dancing. I should have played that angle more. Like, hey, maybe they should get fined or something. But I was it was just my gears were turning. Like when I was calling the police, like you have to be really you have to talk in a certain focused manner when you're talking to police because everything you say can will. But so I like even the gears were turning too much. Like wait, this Taco Bell corporate guy just told me like a line. Like you can't call the police and ask him who called 911. You can't do that. So I was given a line by the Taco Bell corporate guy. I mean, everything else was cromulent. Everything was good. Um, Police, and then it says that when you call the police, you kind of like give them information. So if I was going to sue Taco Bell, they would want me to call police and give information to the police because that would be it couldn't help my case. When you talk to police, it never helps you. You can watch legal videos; they'll tell you you be as innocent possible. But like if the police misunderhear what you say, misinterpret what you say, this and that, you can only be liable, for what you say because what you say to police cannot be used in a court of law, but it can be used against you. It's called, I think it's ad hominem. If you say something, it can't be used for you. It can only be used against you, right? So there's no benefit at all of talking to police. So I see why Taco Bell, like legally, would want me to talk to police, and the guy should know that the cop's not going to tell me who called 911. Should not have told me to do that. So I'm left with like a little bit of a sketchiness, right? I'm left with sketchiness, and then who really did call the 911? Why did the police let a guy call the cops on dancing? And therefore, uh, the apology is acceptable, but it's not fully vetted. We'll say, So I'm gonna leave my YouTube videos up about my surprise about the whole thing, and this is the conclusion of the Taco Bell dance police getting called, right? So, like I said, eat a Taco Bell. Their food's great. People are great. Culture's great. Dancing. If you get a dance there, don't get hurt. Well, that's what the guy says. Obviously, I was planning on getting hurt today. No one ever plans on getting hurt. But like, and then like I said, the punk culture, anti-authoritarianism, like the nose piercings, tats, bad background, people making life for themselves. It's all great. Wish more places would like Taco Bell. It's just I'm not sure why I would want me to call the police and ask who called 911. So it's still like a little bit of a mystery. I'm leaving a couple of my videos up, but they got a 5-star review and it's acceptable, man. It feels acceptable. Hey, God bless you out there in YouTube land. God bless the police, the local police, and the firefighters, paramedics, and that. Police everywhere, man. America is still the best police in the world. Every other country, pretty much every other country, they take bribes. Like almost every one of them. doesn't pay enough big enough bribe to go to prison. And there's worse things. We just talked about human rights abuses. We don't need to talk about human rights abuses again with police, but police in America don't have institutionalized abuse. Other countries have institutionalized abuse. America has the best police force in the world. If you don't have police, if you don't have police, you're gonna have like mob rule, not mob rule, but gangster rule. You don't want that, man. Like, you just walk down the street and you get apprehended by some sort of weirdo. It's not good, man. Like, so you need police. I'm an Eagle Scout, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the police force and stuff. Like I said, I've been a victim of police brutality. I didn't do anything wrong. The news slandered me. Said, "Hey, uh, he's on drugs." I wasn't on drugs, dude. Like they tested me in the hospital, right? But the news says I was on drugs, and they never posted another article like, yeah, Jim wasn't on drugs, and he didn't offensively hit people, and he didn't start a fight. They only put the offensive stuff. Like, oh, so this brings you to like a great conclusion. In America, an accusation sticks with you, even if you've been found not guilty of everything. Accusation stays with you. Like I said, I got 48 felonies on the original police brutality incident. Not guilty of them, right? But the news said I was on drugs. The freak, dude. You know? And then what happened, Carnegie Mellon fired me. They knew I was innocent. Carnegie Mellon illegally fired me. But I didn't want to speak out against the whole situation because I remember Ice-T back in the day, where he had that bad song and it hurt police PR. And when you hurt police PR, you hurt police. I couldn't do that. I'd rather live a life where like I'm falsely accused and people weren't hiring me. I never really got a job. I'm a Carnegie Mellon grad, computer scientist, physicist. I've been programming computers since I was 3, 4 years old, right? Like nonstop. That's what I do. I program code. I program, make play games, and design games. It's all I do. I do it more than anybody else. And like I said, I'm literally number one in the world. Here, I'll pull it up. No, I've been number one in the world at video games, like StarCraft. Just to prove the point, uh, it's Warcraft 3, and I'll show you my records and stuff. I've been number one in the world. I got shouted out by Blizzard. Here, we'll go to the scene. See, like this is Blizzard Entertainment shouting me out. The first to 1,500 wins I do is random. Only 1, 2v2, 3v3, but number one on the road at ladder, all the races. Like no one's number one on the road at all the races. Like other players didn't want to play me. Top players in the world didn't want to play me. It just shows you that I play more video games than other people. I play more video games in the modern era. See, like this just means you play a lot of video games. This was Crazy Jim, my old nick. My new nick's like Good News Jim. I'll show you. Senna support. World Mastery. I think Good News Jim Jesus. I'm still like if I'm like winning like number one in the world. If I'm winning number one in the world, like from mass games played today, right? Let's check Good News Jim Jesus right here. Then I played a lot of games back then. I played games, coded games, and design. That's what I do. I do it more than anybody else. And on top of that, with a Carnegie Mellon degree, right? So like with a Carnegie Mellon degree, sorry, that's the thing. With a Carnegie Mellon degree in computer science, and computer science being demand, you'd think I'd get a position anywhere. No, I put like 1,000 resumes out, talked to 100 headhunters. They couldn't give me anything, right? And like I didn't understand what it was at the time. I was like, man, getting a job should be easy. Like getting this job's like impossible. Like it was. I would spend like a half an hour applying to like these websites, and they're all broken. I'm like, dude, I can't apply to your website because it's broken because someone didn't code it right. If you had me hired, I can code. Because I'm like one of the top software engineers on the planet. Easy. I just helped eBay redesign their website. I helped with design issues. I helped Google identify design issues. But and then the designers themselves. Well, they understand it. It's bad design, but they don't want actual professionals like me doing it. They always want the Harvard grad or the Maverick Yale guy to redesign it because they want to stamp their name on it. Hey, I designed that and get the big paychecks. But like Google stuff. Well, I'm digressing. I'm just saying. Long story short, I'm top in the world. I'm top in the world. One of the top people in the world for software engineering, clickety clacking. And I don't get a job. I can't get a job as a junior. I can't get a job as an intern. They want nothing to do with me because there's this false accusation in the news that I was on drugs, ran people, and attacked police. It happened, but like I said, I stayed quiet, and I don't want to hurt police PR, right? And I stayed silent on until about 2 years ago when I started doing this police the police people are bad. And I'm like, no, they're not. These police people are good, dude. They're out there busting their ass. They have to worry about people shooting them, punching them. Like, dude, this happens all the time, dude. You ever get pulled over by a cop and they have a bad attitude? It's probably the guy that talked to last time. Probably try to throw a cold cock him in the head with a punch or some shit. They had to throw him on the ground. They're still like their adrenaline's still pumped from like like some jerk face. Causing him problems. Like cops see the worst of society nonstop. And we're just talking about affirmation, confirmation. When you start seeing everybody being bad, then when you run across someone that's actually half decent, your body still is so used to seeing all these jerks that like in your mind it's like everybody's jerks for a little bit. So like if you have a bad run in with a cop, like that's don't worry about it. Just show respect. You get pulled over. Okay, I'll tell you how you get pulled over. Okay, you get pulled over because a lot of time I get like set off with warnings all the time. So I'm gonna tell you the proper way of being pulled over. Okay, so you get pulled over. Woo! Oh, schneck, dude. Oh man, I get pulled over. Oh god, I have someplace to go. Oh no, no, no. So when you get pulled over, keep your hands on your wheel. Like 10 and 2, like right up here. So they've seen it, right? You talk to the cop, you respect. Hey, hello, officer. How you doing, sir, ma'am? What seems to be the problem? What do you need me to do? Oh, you need a driver's license registration. Then you reach over really slowly, really slowly, so they can see. Open it so they can see like the thing. Get your driver's license registration. Some people have it on their dashboard now, so you don't have to even open your glove card because people keep the weapon there. So you get your thing and you hand it to them. And you put your hands back on there. And you treat them with respect, right? Because they deserve respect. They're like our military. They defend our freedoms. Um, and so that like I said, you respect the police. Trying to reel it back in. Trying to reel it back into where I got this from. I don't know, man. Long story short, like I said, I kept it. Oh yeah, I kept it secret for like 19 years. 'Cause I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to hurt police PR, but like now I can say I'm a victim of police brutality, and I can help police PR up. So when you already had a run-in with a cop, even if it's a false allegation, you can't. Things like this is really bad. Like you know, like I said, I hang out with like as a Christian, I hang out with sinners, right? I don't indulge in the sin. I help them off the sin, but they see me hang out with nonconformists, right? If police see me hang out with nonconformists all the time, and maybe I'm late in the street driving someone home because they're sick or something. If I'm always hanging out with nonconformists and they see me and the cops always coming around me and they see I'm dancing, it's like they start to like pig in. Oh, we had a history where we beat them up and we had issues with the cops, blah blah blah, and like they start to see me as like a local bad guy when it's the complete opposite. Like I'm with Jesus, man. I'm telling people love's the way. I'm getting them off of stuff. I'm getting them off, like encouraging them in life, encouraging them in like arts and humanities. I tell all the locals how to stuff. I helped one local stop a crime once. Like it's there's a guy out. I won't get into details, but there was a guy trying to steal a cart. It was one of those budget rent a car drive-bys. And if I wasn't with my guy might have been in trouble. He just me there filming, and because I thought it was a crime, and it was a crime. So if you sometimes you don't have to like stand up there, you're ready to fight in a crime. You show that you're filming, and you go behind a car, and the person gets uncomfortable, with their crime, right? But like so, like I mean, like I don't know, I don't know how I could be any better at trying to be good with people. But like I said, so like we go back to it, false accusations in America, they stick with you, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're not guilty. If you're falsely accused in America, that sticks with you. I couldn't get a job from it. Now it's all piling up. Like I was concerned. I'm concerned with the police. I'm concerned when I go out there that the police are going to cause trouble with me because someone called the dance police on me, and like like I said, I saw them looping around the parking lot when I was staying late. They'll drive someone home, and then like I don't know. There's a couple other things. Like I started seeing all these like little things stack up, and I think like I can see how the police might not like me now, right? But I love the police. I pray for police. Pray they're protected. I pray they can help people. I'll tell you a random prayer that's related to police. I always pray for the roads to be safe. I don't want people in auto accidents. So you'll be praying for the roads to be safe. I pray for the roads to be safe, the sky to be safe, and the seas to be safe. There's containers fall over and people can get drowned and stuff. But like one time I pray people never wreck. And I'm like, wait, God. Let's reframe that. Maybe there's someone that's a bad guy needs to be stopped. So in civilian might have run into, as I said. So maybe like you can ram into like maybe a bank robber or a bad guy if they had to. The very next day in the news, a bank robber got rammed. I mean, if you want to see that, I can find the news article. I'm trying to find the news article myself, so I can't really guarantee I can find the news article, but I can tell you about the area that happened. I was like amazed. I'm like, wow, I just prayed that like people have safe driving out there in the roads, but except maybe like the bad guys can get like stopped, like maybe rammed by a guy, and it got rammed the very next day. Like I think that was like 2016, 15, somewhere around there. I was amazed at that. Like, I mean, like I get prayer answered all the time. I've had over 100,000 miracles. Loves the way. You can check it out on goodnewsjim.com. I'm not making this stuff up, man. You live in the love and the spirit. You're an eternal being. So just be who you are all the time. Be love all the time. Anybody else is jerks out there, you be love, man. All the conformists are jerks, you be love, right? Just help people out, man. There's like I said, there's a difference between love and things that are not love, right? We talk about the Iranian Revolution. They're trying to treat women like objects. That's not love. Love's push and go a little bit, go this way and that way. Like me, then you come with me. You don't like me, do it. Then that makes you want to try more. So if they like you and they like you, you keep trying to make them happy. You don't give up. Oh, it's an object. I don't have to do anything for that person, that thing. It's like I don't know. We're going all over the place. I'm trying to reel it back in. We'll go back to like rep. Go back to the false allegations, right? So I just wanted to like it's one of those. It's highly concerning, Like I kind of like was concerned that like if you have a bunch of false allegations, it doesn't do good when they haul you in. Like, oh, we saw you out here, we saw you here. This guy said that. This guy said that. So then everybody's hearsay, right? Whether it's true or not. I got haters online that say they're hearsaying this way and that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like so, um, people false allegation goes a long way. It's like the Bible says a false allegation is like a deadly weapon. You know, it can hurt. That's one of the Ten Commandments. Do not bear false witness, right? So, if people are bearing false witness against me, which they say they are, I've had people online say they're just report me about stuff that makes no sense just because they don't like me for being a Christian. And and then in person, if there's like just looks like it's going one way and it's not going that way, you can see a situation. Like say like let's say you're on a bridge and you see a guy like like with the hands out like holding something. It could be that guy could be threatening to drop the guy like a mafia, or he could just grab them so you didn't like jump off, right? You don't situations you look at. So like if I'm at a parking lot at night at midnight or just when like things are closing, they might think, well, I'm trying to jack someone in the parking lot, but I was just driving them home at that time. So like if you got a bunch of false allegations and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they start piecing it all together. Well, maybe to them it looks like I'm a bad guy, you know. And then that's a concern to me because I don't want to go to jail or anything for doing nothing but helping people, you know. And the confusions happen like that. And so, like, if someone calls the police on me for dancing, it's of major concern to me. You know, in America, a false allegation sticks with you for life. But there's no repercussions for people falsely accusing someone. There's not a crime. You can't go to jail for accusing someone of a crime. You just can't. But the allegation will stay with them. You see that a lot with famous people, right? People who knew that famous person at some time in their life often get bribed politically just to give false allegations against that person, make him look bad, make it easy for the muckrakers to take him down. And so there's no penalty for falsely accusing someone, right? So the person who called me in for dancing, they're not going to see any problems. No one's going to give them any problems, you know. And that's all right. Maybe there's like a confused old person outside somewhere. I don't know because I wasn't even outside. I was indoors, you know. So I really don't know who called it. That's why I said it might be a Taco Bell guy and it might be lying to me. I don't know. I don't care. Like I just don't. Just like the apology was acceptable for me. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like I understand why false allegations shouldn't be punished. Otherwise, people wouldn't accuse people of crimes if they had a crime because they're worried about it. I mean, you already have problems. It's already enough problems accusing someone of a crime. Like, let's say you accuse a gangster of a crime, and it doesn't go through. And they know where you live and everything. That could be bad. That's why when in inner city, a lot of people don't speak out against crime because sure you took that guy down, but he knows this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, and they all know you and they know you took him that crime. Your life's in trouble. It's a web of gangsterism in that situation. So I can understand why there's not a penalty for accusing people of crime. You already have to be pretty brave to accuse someone of crime. But the false allegations, I mean, the false allegations that stick with you for life, like that's BS, man. Like I should, like, dude, I'm a top-notch software engineer. I should be able to get a job anywhere, dude. I like Twitter. People are like, oh, Elon Musk is laying off his entire crew on Twitter, right? Like half the crew. How will Twitter ever function? Do you understand? You give me 1 month, I could code up basically all the functionality of Twitter myself. I'm that good of a software engineer. I've been told I code 4 times faster than a team of four. That's like 4 times 4. That's 64 times, 64 times efficient. You know, like what? No, wait, it's 4 times 4 times 4 because I did it in 1/4 the time. So 1/4 the time, 4 times as efficient as a team of four. Like there's a difference between like an okay software engineer and like a world class one like myself. Um, the reason people don't code Twitter though, everybody can do that with Twitter. The reason I don't is because like it's chicken egg. Once everybody's at one place, like say like everybody goes here, in this one like area. It's almost like gravity. Why would you want to use a new service when you already gravitated to where everybody's at? I can go to this service where there's no one at, and I can talk, and then no one hears me. No one's going to do that. So it's gravity. Even though the service can be exact, we can have two services. Twitter and exactly the same as Twitter over here. Everybody's going to be using Twitter. No one's going to go exactly the same as Twitter because there's no one there. Hello, how's everybody doing here? Oh, I'm talking to myself. So that's the chicken and egg problem. Uh, so reeling back in. Like I said, I'm top software engineer in the world, one of the top, absolute tip top. I'm writing an MMO. I've done software no one's ever done before. I invented like rollback code and networking. I have a new networking code that has infinite players in the same zone. I worked on the first self-driving car. I helped them do user interface in Carnegie Mellon before the phones came out, and I gave them user interface tips more than the professor knew. He started letting me teach class basically. Like I know way, way so much. Like no one, no dude. Like no one when they're 4 years old does software engineering. No one starts coding when they're four, basically. Not especially not back in the '80s when there's nothing to doing there. At age 5, I knew about more about software engineering than probably 99.99% of people in Pennsylvania. Say like people weren't just doing it then. I almost had near perfect SATs. It's like for me to not like get a job is silly. Like it's just silly, right? Well, I mean, I necessarily think it's terrible that I never got a job coming out of college because, like, check it out. I was able to play a lot of video games, be number one in the world at them, make video games on the side. I get to hang out with my grandmother a lot before she passed away. I'm not complaining. I'm explaining. In America, falsely accused of something, being falsely accused of something is terrible. It's terrible. Even if you're not guilty, the news says this, and they don't retry. They don't print. Oh well, you know what? He turns out he wasn't on drugs. Turns out he didn't ram someone. Turns out he didn't start the fight. Right? That'd been nice. Maybe Carnegie Mellon stand up for me. Oh yeah, we know you're innocent. Maybe we shouldn't illegally fire you from your job because you stand up for police. You're not gonna make a complaint. I'm gonna stand up for police now. I say, pray for police. It really matters. Obviously there's like it's almost a yin and yang thing where we don't want to be into a police state. uh we talked about authoritarianism versus nonconformity, so like it's yin and yang. You want to respect the police a great deal. At the same time, you don't want a police state to form, and the police state doesn't form as long as you don't go into authoritarianism level and you say people can't do this, they can't wear this, or can't do that. There's a balance. But right now we're in a balance point where you really do have to respect police. I mean, you should always respect police, but like we're in a point where like well, in a nation state, we should be praying for police. We should be praying for them. And he should always be praying for me, even though when they're bad guys. Jesus said to go the extra mile. He wasn't talking about going extra mile for your mom. Like, hey, how about you mow the grass? Yeah, well then I'll pick up the sticks and maybe go trim the bushes. That's people think that's the extra mile. Oh, I'll help my friends out. You go the extra mile. You get them pizza. Along with his nachos. He was just expecting like Doritos, and I got him Doritos in a pizza, or Dorito Loco tacos. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these people think extra mile is about like helping your friends. No, no, extra mile is more like River of the River Kwai. You're captured by the enemy soldiers, and they say the build a bridge. You do it. Because this was during the time of the Romans when Romans oppressed like all the area. They oppressed Judea. So and then they were like, "What do we do with the Roman soldiers?" Jesus said, "Just do what they say, and do a little bit more." Show them you love. So even when things are going really bad, you should be praying for police, right? Pray for them, man. They're getting beat up, they're getting shot at, they're getting stabbed. I mean, like really, it's there's people being disrespectful. What's your problem? Yeah, I got my own thing. I pay your taxes. Like, dude, shut up, dude. He's the police, right? And like thing is, like the people who say pay the taxes, like that's an insult, but it's also a testament to capitalism, right? And capitalism, this is a little tangent. We're going to do a tangent. We'll go back to respect, please. In capitalism, you work a job. You get to choose what you want to do for a living, and you do what you want to do for a living, and then you make some money, and you pay your taxes, and the government serves you. In communism, they pay you, and you're the slave of the government, right? You don't want to do that. I want to dance. Well, too bad. You're going to be a steel worker, right? But anyway, so people disrespect police. Like I said, they foul things at them. They throw things at them, punch them. They try not run. They act like dicks. Like the cops try to like chase someone, they might run into a thing, or they say how bad the cops are. Like, don't do that, man. Oh, the riots. Oh my God, the riots are terrible. People are dying because you say, oh, this and that, and it's like it's the news. What is it? We'll go back to the beginning where all this disrespect happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay, so Okay, this is engineering from China and Iran. They want to destroy us from inside, so they're trying to promote this race riot. BS, right? Oh, kneel before the flag. If you like America, you're racist. Bullshit. That's bullshit. And I have other videos explain. I have another video explaining that back when they were doing it. Twitter had them leaders like yelling for death in the streets back in May 23rd or whatever, 2000, whatever that was, 20. And then I tweeted like a bunch of things like, hey, you know what? You're gonna cause extra real problems. Lay off the hate. I was telling all that. But Twitter censored what I said. Twitter caused the race riots. Along with CNN, 100 people died of police every day worldwide. Every day, 100 people die. Thousands of people died of doctors every day. Malpractice. We don't want to abolish doctors. We need doctors. Just because a couple of doctors make mistakes doesn't mean you abolish doctors. You don't abolish police because 100 people die. But the thing is, the news is propaganda. It's very insidious, right? They covered one death. 100 people die a day, and they rubbed your nose in hate. It's hate. It's hate. It's hate. Rub your nose. Racism never went away. Racism is bad. Racism is bad. But then they say, well, these guys are like European invaders are bad. CNN's a racist. That's a racist statement. But they rubbed your nose in hate for a month straight. Did you not notice? It was this one issue. Pommel. They want you hating. Why do we want to hate? We should be hating. We should be upset with this. We should rage in the street. CNN caused the race riots, man. No one cares with Twitter now. No one cares. They actually caused the race riots. It's called propaganda, man. And then what happens is they're hurting police PR. They know they hurt police PR. They hurt police. It's like CNN at behest of China and Iran is an all-out assault on America, man. It's an all-out assault. And that's why I started talking about this. I said, hey, you know what? You got to respect your police. Pray for them, man. This is BS. We don't want America destroyed. America's too big to be destroyed. You know what? They said that about the Titanic, too. Are we the Titanic, too? The sequel? Because, it seems like it. You have to pray for police. Really, really just get down on knees and say, hey, we don't want America destroyed. We don't want freedom of speech taken away. Once freedom of speech is taken away, all our freedoms are taken away. So this is a major thing. This is a major thing. It's not. It goes beyond just the dance police getting called. It's explaining why I'm concerned with the dance police. Be falsely accused of something in America means your life's going to change completely, And I guess it's maybe for the better. Maybe people had to see this, I'll take a link to the my article, my video I have about how the race riots are engineered. I talked about how they're going to try and usher in communism, cause inflation, trying to eliminate free speech. And this is back in 2020. I knew all their plans already. I'm actually one of the smartest people on the planet. StarCraft. The games that was number one in the world at StarCraft, Warcraft 3, and Command and Conquer and such. They're known as games that are more difficult than chess. It's not hard to argue. It's you're playing chess at a rapid rate. It's strategical, multi-pronged thing. You have to make decisions on the fly. It's more difficult. Play StarCraft than chess, right? Russia hires gets in the political top office in politics, chess people, because they just know how intelligent they are. But I'm like more intelligent than those top chess players. I was one of the smartest person to ever go. One of the smartest person to go to learning. Yeah, Jim, that sounds like really smart. One of the smartest personese. I'm a personese. Of the person. I'm of the people of persons of the personese. No. Where are you from? Persian? Person? No, I was one of the smartest people to ever go to Carnegie Mellon. You have to understand this. Like, in elementary school when they did my IQ test, they said, "Oh, you got like 10 minutes to go, but you can't do any other problems because it's like division and stuff. You never got taught division." I'm like, "Oh, addition is subtraction is the opposite of addition, and division is like big, and it should be the opposite of multiplication." So I was like, and I answered him so fast. He's like, I had the IQ examiners afraid of me. They got afraid. They took the test before I was even done, and they said, "This man does not have a number for his IQ." How many people do you know they don't give a number for their IQ? Yeah, me. Okay, check it out. Now, fast forward to Carnegie Mellon, rocket science. What do you ever hear? Oh, that's not rocket science, because rocket science is supposed to be the hardest thing to ever do, right? I'm in rocket science. It's differential equation. It's fun, calculus 3 and stuff. And my buddies are going, "Jim, I don't think we're going to get these questions done. It's taking us 5 hours to do a question, and there's 20 of them. We don't have 100 hours between now and when we get to turn them in." I'm like, dudes, whatever. It's just 20 questions. "Jim, you don't understand. You don't." And they talked about this for days. And I said, "Jim, come up and help. I'll show you. We'll show you." So I go up to the thing, and there's people sweating. Just like their notebooks are like filled with like scrawling. It looks like Isaac Newton and stuff. Like, and like, "Jim, look at these problems. This is impossible." I'm like, I look at the problem like, and I wrote down the answer after about a minute. Like, "Jim, you have to like you have to show your work, and what are you just putting something random down?" I'm like, "No, that's the answer. Like, you do the integral and the thing and the down and the blah blah blah." And they look at it like, "Jim, that's right. Like, but you didn't show your work." I'm like, how am I supposed to show the work when I do it in my head?" And like, "Jim, but oh, okay, well, I'll do the other one." And like 20 minutes later, I got them all done, all 20 questions done in 20 minutes, all in my head. And they look at it, these are all right. What? And they gave me the same look of fear of like the IQ examiners did. It's like, "Whatever, Jim. See ya. I guess you go do your normal thing. We're gonna be in here for the next like 5 days." Yeah, I'm that smart. Like I say, like I've been number one when I was number one in the world of video games. Like games that are harder than chess. The top 5 players literally said, "Jim, we don't even want to play you. You're just too smart for us. You're too good at these games, right?" Like I'm like one of the absolute top geniuses in the planet. I might be the smartest person on the planet. Like I said, I've God on my side, right? So I'm gonna reel it back in. Okay. When I tell you that, like, the race riots engineer coming from China and Iran, I know what I'm talking about. If I predicted like the rise of like them trying to push communism on you, and I was trying to predict like they're trying to take free speech away from you, I know what I'm talking about. Like, this is just not made up stuff. Like, when they say conspiracy on mainstream news, every lie, backdoor's lie, is a conspiracy. When Verizon and AT&T and Sprint all conspire to keep their the lowest amount that you could pay for like a thing up, like it's called oligopoly. Basically, it's a monopoly. It's a collusion of like top capitalists, and there's nothing wrong with capitalism. There's a collusion of top corporate people so they don't lower the price below a certain threshold. Down in Mexico, they have the opposite, where they'll compete into the ground. I mean, like, go to the Busy Beaver and buy some concrete, dude. You're gonna buy like 60, like 80 pounds of concrete, like self mixed concrete for like $5. Because down in Mexico, they compete like outrageous, At the same time, you buy like a cell phone plan, which is like cost them nothing to give you a cell phone plan, and they're trying to charge you like $60 a month for it, or more, 100. There's people with cell phones at $200 a month, right? They're just it's charging them out yang because they're colluding. It's a backdoor deal. It's a conspiracy. Every lie is a conspiracy. Two people lying behind the back, it's a conspiracy. To say and like every regicide was a conspiracy, right? Like, historically, there's conspiracies up and down history. They're assuming you don't know what history is. You think conspiracies aren't real, right? So, anyway, basically, there's the news is committing 3 sins. Then, like, the first sin is they're just straight lying to you. The second sin is saying no one else is telling the truth, right? So, like I said, like you're seeing rub your nose in hate for like a month straight. When are you gonna get sick of that stuff? And I guess we'll reel back in. It's ended up being long winded, but like it needs to be done. It needs to be done. So like I said, I forgive Taco Bell. I think there's a good chance they didn't didn't anything wrong. But like for the guy to say, hey, call up and see who called 911. I think maybe he just didn't know, or maybe he did know and wanted me to probe for information. They always want you to like indemnify yourself. Because I said I did actually call 4 lawyers. I mean, like this is major. Like I said, like false allegations can stack. I don't even need money. I would just false allegations stack up, and a false allegation stack up enough, you just go to prison. Like that guy, he does all these sketchy things, and and the other people are falsely accusing. It's as bad as a deadly weapon, right? So I want to clear my name. So I was calling lawyers already. I wasn't looking for a big payday. Dude, like who needs money? When I say that, like I mean, like you live your life and you help people and God will provide, right? You don't need a big bunch of money, man. People who need think they need a big bunch of money, they're normally not happy right now because happiness is normally a choice you make yourself. Hey, I want to be happy today. I got what I got. I got food to provide on my table. I got some friends and family. Let's go hang out with friends and family. Let's pursue my arts. Let's pursue my hobbies. Let's make myself a better person. You know, choosing to be happy is normally more or less a choice. And if people want to be rich and stuff, then normally like that, those people are not happy right now. And they chose not to be happy because they're basically gatekeeping when they'll be happy. I mean, how many people are like that? Oh, I'll be happy when I graduate. Oh, I'll be happy when I get a girlfriend. Oh, I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I have kids. I'll be happy when I retire. And then finally they're 60 years old. It's like I don't know what's the next thing I should look forward to. It's like that doesn't look very peasy. Like, people got to be like happy. You have to be happy every moment, and choose to be. That's why I always say if I work someplace, as long as I'm happy where I'm working at the time, you can pay me $5 an hour. I'll be like I'm happy here. Someone want to put me in a high pace like place where they're paying me $200 an hour and I'm getting yelled at. I don't want to work there, right? Because like everywhere I'm at, that's where I'm at, right? Everywhere you are, there you are, Buckaroo Banzai, right? So I'm gonna try to reel it back in. We went so many tangents. Like I said, the reason I do this is because, like I said, false allegations, man. In America, they never leave you. So it's serious to me. It was serious enough that I was going for lawyers. But the guy, the Taco Bell corporate guy did his job. I'm no longer going for lawyers because I don't have to clear my name. He said you can dance in Taco Bell. It was not us. But at the same time, I don't know if it really wasn't him because, you know, like why would he tell me to call police and like ask who it was unless he wants to indemnify myself in case I did follow through with lawsuits, which I'm not. I'm not going to do any lawsuits. Talk about I don't have to worry about lawsuits. Like I said, I shouted you out a bunch of times in here talking about. I said I'm like I used to be like your spokesman on Twitch, unofficial. Like a lot of people don't want to do anything to do with me because um, false allegations, man. Like that guy has a lot of false allegations. He's a strong Christian. He has a lot of like core values, and a lot of people don't want to be. He's a punk. A lot of people like when they're picking who you want to be the sponsor for someone. A lot of people want to be like just toe the line, and I give it a good example. Would be like I don't know, like you can tell people who were like shooting from the hip and talking freely, and there's people who were like just trying to build an image, trying to be with the conformity. Some people want to be conformity, and they have one little image thing. It's like, oh, he does everything right, and then he has that one image thing. Great spokesmodel, pick him up. I'm not looking to be a spokesmodel and talk about. I was just saying that like back in the day, my friends said I was. It was actually hilarious. What I am doing now is I'm saying, hey, pray for police and check out my other video where I predicted all the stuff. It also has some pretty good actual real politics, like not the stuff they sell you on TV. Like TV, they rub your nose and one thing for like 3 months straight. Who could even watch that, right? They're just teaching you how to argue with people, all your friends and family about stuff, right? Who wants to argue with your friends and family? I don't, you know. Hey, by the way, we'll do one finding wisdom. Taco Bell is awesome. Go eat there. Police are awesome. Pray for them. I'll leave you with one thing of wisdom. What random people talk politics say, I don't talk politics. I don't even talk politics with people I agree with 100% of the time because it's annoying. But your family members, you have to deal with them. So here's how you deal with your family members. You let them talk. Let them talk for like 30 minutes, an hour. And while you're doing that, listen to the dumbest thing they say. Like my friends and family were like, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of it, I said, you know what? Is it really environmental to not use a pipeline and instead truck diesel fuel and trains up the thing? And you know what? It probably doesn't save a lot of money, hiring all those people. I don't think that's like environmental or economical. And like, oh, yeah. So what you do is you pull one thread. It's old redneck backwoods wisdom. You pull one thread off of them. They're a family. You're going to see them again later, right? And that's all they're going to be able to think about from then to the next day. Next time you talk to them, blah, 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 blah. You're like, yeah, there's a bunch of hate. It's annoying. You listen to the weakest thing they say. After a couple weeks of that, they see you's wise. They'll just listen to whatever you have to say. Or, at the very least, they're a little bit less dumb. So, there it is. A lot of wisdom. Check out that other video about how, like, CNN caused the race riots. CNN, Twitter caused the race riots. It really was a thing. It's important. This is a pro police video. This is pro Taco Bell video, and this is Good News Jim signing out. God bless, and try some tacos.